So in this video, what I want to do is I want to give and walk through the information that you're going to need to make a very valid decision. What are we looking for? What is a guest post? What's guest blogging? What's the benefit? What's the drawbacks? What should we be looking for to guarantee a high quality backlink? What are the metrics? So in this video, I'm going to walk through and answer those exact questions, so I do not want to waste any time. So if you're just coming back to me and maybe never saw me before, my name is Chris Palmer, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. When we're looking and we're seeing these posts, it's always from excellent sources, and I want you to take a look at what they're referencing, and you'll see this all over the web when we're looking at the metrics of giving us the opportunity of saying, hey, this works. I want you to look at these links here. Inc.com, HubSpot, Entrepreneur and Business Insider. Of course you had excellent results when getting links and guest posting on these blogs. But what about a normal business owner? I talk to business owners all the time, and that's why I'm bringing this video to you, because what really ends up happening is you land on a website like this. You're like, all right, I need to get links. I don't want to buy PBN links. I don't want to do anything black hat. So I want to do a guest post. Now, I want to bring you to this, and I just want to catch you up to speed on a couple of things. And let's take a look at this, where if we're on Upwork and we're searching for freelancers that offer a guest post, all right? Or they do outreaching service and they're charging you $150 an hour, $50 per hour. And I want you to remember that A, you have to pay for the link, right? A, you have to have it written. And at these prices right here, whatever you're returning it, and this is why I'm making this video, you're generally going to get a well-written article, right? 600 words, 1,500 words, 1,000 words, and this is absolutely phenomenal. But what I see time and time again is a lot of money was put out, and the links that are being returned are links somewhere in the neighborhood like this. So this was a campaign that was ran not too long ago, doing a guest post blog. And what I want to do first is for anybody that's maybe brand new to guest posting. Guest posting is when, or guest blogging is when you're getting niche specific or similar blogs that are relative to your blog or to your website. You're going to go ahead and put a piece of content on there in hopes to, A, obviously get the backlink back for power and authority, but more so we're trying to generate traffic. So I'm going to break down the metrics, but I want to answer these questions because I've been asked them. So the first thing is, what's a guest post? It's when I'm guest posting or I'm blogging and I'm paying money and or I'm buying an article to get a piece of content on someone else's website that's going to give me a backlink back to me and also going to refer traffic. Now, to touch on that point, what I want to state to you is this. A lot of times what you'll find is you're going to get a backlink if you're using a service, whether you're using a service using a freelancer, whether you're going out and you're typing in guest post, right? Because this is what normal people do. They're like, oh, guest post, guest blog, it's white hat. What do I do? So it's guest post. You're going to run into a couple of services. And the services that you'll run into, you can take a look for yourself, are just like this. But what you'll end up finding is the links that they're giving you. Yes, they might be on active blogs. Yes, they might be relatively powerful. But the guest post that you're getting is on a brand new page. Meaning if we're looking at a metric, right? If we're looking at the authority, if we're looking at DR and UR, if we're looking at trust flow and CF, yes, the overall domain authority is high, but that page is getting nothing. That page is brand new. It might not even be indexed. That page is getting no traffic. That page has no power. I think I made my point there. So I want to run to this, is if we're doing a guest posting service and it's a guest post, all right, might I suggest if you run across, say, a freelancer, maybe you're on this platform or a freelancer and they're offering this service, might I suggest that maybe you pitch them on a link placement or a link insert or what is called a niche edit. This way we can guarantee not only the overall authority, but we can also get a blog that's already indexed. I'm getting the authority, I'm getting the page authority, and most specifically, perhaps, we might even get some traffic, which is a big element. We're going to talk about metrics, so stick with me. I'm going to tell you what to look for so you don't get ripped off, really, is what I want to do here. Like, what are we looking for? Because, and now that leads me right to the next piece. Is let's say you're just a normal person, you're typing in, you're like, hey, I want a guest post. I don't want to buy a PBN link, right? And I want to answer this. A lot of times what you're going to find on services such as this, or maybe you come over to People by the Hour, is this. A guest post, because it is considered white hat, a lot of times what you'll find is this is just an overpriced PBN. Yes, it might be getting some sort of traffic, but it's still on a blog that we've never heard of, and is it going to drive traffic to your entity? It's not going to be like from our previous example where it's an Inc. or an Insider, or maybe it is. I'm just giving you all the angles. I want you to be educated so when you're going out and you're buying these posts, you're buying these blogs, you know what to look for, you know what's a deal, what's not. So if we start from the very beginning, what is it? I have to buy an article, right? I have to get it on a blog that's generating traffic back to me, and I want to know, is the page authority and the overall domain authority, right? If you like those metrics, are both of those equal to the price that I'm about to pay? And for anybody that's maybe brand new in white hat, I want you to remember, you're still buying links, all right? If you're doing guest posts, so if you're white hat or gray hat or black hat or whatever, if I'm buying an article to get on a site, you just bought a link, all right? So just so we're both on the same page here. But in any case, with that being said, let's keep looking here. So the point that I was trying to make previously before I got off, so let's take a look here. And what you're going to start seeing is, and let's say that let's get into the mindset of a buyer. We're about to run a campaign, and we're going to talk about doing manual outreach in a second here, but let's say we're going to do a campaign. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is, and what I want to point out to you is this. When we start looking, let's just say this is People by Hour. Let's open this up. So this is just a top ranker for guest posts. So this is what you're going to see. If I'm on People by the Hour, I typed in guest post blog. These are top results. So that means that this is one of the people that's actually getting some of the clicks and the traffic, right? This guy's getting sales. So if we take a look here, I want you to take a look at this and what he's doing. So this right here is a Google site, LinkedIn and Medium. These are Web 2.0 blogs that you can go and create yourself. Now, that's perfectly fine if he has a scalable platform that he's actually getting some traffic, great. But with that being said, what I want you to take note is on all of these sites, let's go to this one right here. We see this, right? They're selling links, they're offering a service, they want you to click, but I want you to take notice of something. In every single listing, let's do one more just for fun to be fair. Let's just pick a random one. Which one? Here, I can close my eyes and just click. Ready? Which one was it? This one? Okay, watch. Let's take a look here. What I'm getting at is this, and let's come over here to Fiverr. I'm just trying to prove a point here because let's look at this now. We're just clicking on anything random because the point I'm trying to make is this. They're selling a quality link. They have set a price. This is the value that they're going to give me. I want you to look here. If I'm doing guest post, if this young lady here is going to charge me $150 an hour to do the writing, this one here is going to charge me $50 to do the writing and do some outreach. This gentleman's willing to sell me links for $30, right? For one with 2 follow backlinks. So I want you to think about that as far as quality is concerned. Do you get what I'm saying? They're going to give me the writing and the link. But the big point that I want to give you is this. At no time have they showed us what is the URL. What is it? Where is it? So before you make any purchases, you need to ask these questions. 1, what's the blog? 2, where is my post going to be? Is this going to be on a brand new post? Who's going to write it? Can I see some samples of your writing? Can I submit my own article for review? Also, what is the page metrics of where my blog is going to be? And I want to know the domain so I can check the traffic analytics, right? If they're selling me a link and it's going to be a guest post and it's going to be topically relevant, they should have absolutely no problem showcasing to you what the link is. Now, with that being said, if we're talking about guest posting and guest posting being overpriced PBNs, what this reminds me of is a high quality PBN link. Generally within these networks, they're not going to show you the links. Why? Because they want to protect the websites. And this is generally what I would recommend when buying PBN links. So let's fast forward this and let's get to more information. So what are we looking for, Chris? Right? I'm Chris, if you didn't know. So here's what we're looking for. So I just gave you that small piece of information. Now let's talk about what we are looking for. So I did a small campaign not too long ago for a particular client. And this is what was executed. Now these were just bought. Let me fast track that. This isn't the campaign that I run, but this is what was ran for them. And I want to just start looking at these blogs so we can start taking a look and get an understanding of what we're looking at. All right, so I want to give you some key metrics that you're looking for if you are deciding to buy a guest post or a guest blog placement. All right, because there's a couple key metrics that we're looking at. So let's go ahead and take a look here. And let's just go to this first one here. So we're going to go ahead and pull this into SEMrush. And you could use any tool you want. So this right here is a massive red flag. And I want you to take a look at this because if we're just looking at a domain overview, one of the most important elements that we're looking for is traffic. The propensity for a link to be clicked increases the power of the link. Period, end. The reason why those links are so valuable, even if they're no follow, is because of the traffic that can be generated. So irrelevant of the quality of the content that's being written, irrelevant of that, if the blog does not have sufficient traffic on the page where your link is going to be or on the new post, or if the overall domain does not have traffic, it's an automatic out of here. You're gone. And the reason was exactly what I explained to you. So this is just one, and one of the key metrics that we're looking for is really three. All right, so let's go through those three metrics that say, hey, we're doing our campaign. We're not doing manual outreach. At the end, I'll get to manual outreach and some tools that you can use so you can just do this yourself. But first, I want to talk about the metrics that you're really looking for, because yes, they're probably not showcasing them here, but if you start messaging them here on this particular site or on here, if you take a look at some of their samples or sites where they can get placement on, they'll be more than happy to share. I'm sure it's part of business, right? But here's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So if we're using SEMrush, and I like SEMrush, but you can, again, use whatever you'd like. But here, let's close some windows out so we don't get too carried away here. So here's what we're looking for. There's three things. Actually, there's four things. So let's talk about those four things now. So if I had to look up four things on here, I'll show you within the tool, all right? So I'm looking for one, I'm looking for how many referring domains, all right? So for this particular blog here, the referring domains was a total of 427. Now, I actually like to just take a quick look at, okay, if we have the referring domains, according to authority, how many authoritative links are driving this overall authority metric? Whatever you're looking at, whether it's DR, UR, DAPA, TFCF, whatever you're looking at, all right? If we have the referring domains is what matters. But aside from that, we need to really look at what is the powerful links. So we're looking at anything 40 plus if we're looking at SEMrush. So that's one. So number one is, what's the referring domain count? All right, so referring domain count overall. So what's the actual power of that site? All right, now these are in no particular order. I'm just going through them so you know what you're looking for once they give you their sample set or what guest posts they're going to be giving you. All right. Whew, it's a big mouthful there. So what I'm looking for is referring domains. The next piece is, and this is very important, I don't even need to look, is whatever page it's going to be on. You know, and remember, you're paying money, you should be able to dictate. We really want to know is if we're going to do a link insert, right? This is a guest post or a niche edit. We need to know the title of the blog. So what's the title of the page? This comes back for relevancy. Secondly, we want to know the overall anchor text that's going into that domain. This is outside or off-page signals that are coming into the site that are signaling to Google. These are votes from other sites. Remember, backlinks are votes. So other sites are saying this site is about this. This is a key metric for Google, along with other search engines. So we can see here that Google thinks that this site is about, I'm not Russian or whatever language this is, but Sira, CBD, best, oil, products, anxiety, and pain. So if you're looking at the anchor text on a blog that you just went over here to Fiverr and you're like, hey, what's your sites? Like if this is a guest post site for what's it say? Doctors. And I look through here and it's CBD, oil, best. Hey, it's kind of similar, but we want to get as specific as possible. All right. So that's the next piece is what's the anchor coming into the site, right? What's the anchor text coming into the site? Now, as a side note, all right, so as a side note, the page title, the post will be on. So what is the title? If I'm getting a link insert, or if they're going to do a guest post, what's it going to be titled? We need to make sure that that's relevant. We also want to make sure that the referring domain count is high. If we're doing a link insert, we want to make sure that that page has a lot of links coming to it. Most notably, the anchor text is key here. All right, we need to make sure that the anchor text coming into that site, even if not to that page or if the referring domains are low, if that anchor text is highly topical, this is a good link. The more topical we can get, the better off we are in the long run. Now, the creme de la creme of them all right, the most important metric in my personal and humble opinion, aside from the referring domain and the anchor text, these three are like the masters of the universe when we're talking about SEO. The creme de la creme is the traffic. All right. Now there's two types of traffic. Now we have traffic that is coming to the overall domain. And then why I love these link inserts is what is the traffic going to that page? If there's nothing coming to that page, then what is the overall traffic of the domain? So if we're taking a look at our example over here, let's take a look here at this particular outreach campaign. We have low numbers here, but we pulled this in here. We're taking a look here. We need to take a look, and we're going to see that, okay, traffic analytics for this particular domain is about nothing. All right. So this right here for me is going to be a hard and fast no for a guest post. All right. Now, if this is going to be used to power up maybe something else, but we're not talking about that today. Today, we're talking about guest posting and guest blogging. For a guest post, this is a no-go. There has to be some type of traffic. If my site's not getting traffic, that means it's not authoritative enough. All right. So the last but not least thing, all right, and I think I said 4, but we're going to make it 5, is when you're going to the page, all right, because there's a couple little pieces that we can look at. Like, okay, the site is semi-relevant. The site's getting a little bit of traffic. But another metric that you really want to look at is if they're going to share the guest post blog, which they should. The last piece is what is the internal linking structure like? All right. What is the internal linking structure? If I go to the site, and these are all orphan guest posts, this is absolutely no good. All right. There has to be some good internal link building going on so we know that the power is being funneled across the website. So in recap, what are we looking for? Referring domain count. All right. Secondly, what is the anchor text coming into that site? Thirdly, as a side note, the title of that actual post, what is that going to be? Is there actual traffic coming to that post? Is there overall traffic to the domain? And what is the internal linking structure like? These are all important elements. Now, let me go ahead and showcase to you the difference between a guest post, a quality guest post, and what we would call that people are selling off as this is a guest post. We're able to charge a higher rate, but it's really just a poor managed PBN. All right, so let me show you the differences of those, and then we'll start talking about outreach tools and how you can start generating these lists. Okay, so let me go ahead and move into that. Let's go back to our example here. All right. So if this is our example, okay, give me one moment here. Sorry. If this is our example, all right, this was a guest post campaign that I know that a particular client had. She wanted me to look over. But in any case, with that being said, let's just pull one of these in. This one's got a, let's go to one that's got a good count here. So this one's got a pretty good count here. What is it? Trust Flow 30 link. That's pretty good. So let's go see what we're working with here. All right. These, I cheated beforehand. She bought a whole bunch and I just pulled out the worst ones. So, but that's okay. I just want you guys to know ahead of time, I pulled out the worst ones. I know that all of these are pretty bad. So I kind of cheated here, but it's to show you and to teach you. All right. So in any case, let's go take a look at this. All right. So guest post. So let's find a quality one. So let's do all in text. Oh, how about this? So search engine, no. Guest post Moz, right? So we can go in here and take a look. I believe that, so these, Moz allows guest posts, all right? So, and I know that this would be a quality example, but really take a look here. So they're talking about, if you go looking on Moz's blog, I guess it would take me a second to go in here and start looking for them. But if you take a look, obviously Peter works there. Greg, I think, is a worker. But if you start looking at some of these, like this one looks like a guest post, all right? These are guest posts, all right? They're within the main navigation. They're right on the blog. They're managed. They look the same. They're clean, all right? Now, I want you to take a look at this. Remember, we went over to that guest post that I know is relatively rough. I want you to take a look at this site, all right? And this is pretty common for your guest post sites that are really just PBNs, all right? So, and what you'll find is this type of structure pretty frequently, and the structure that I want to show you is this. So for one, you're gonna see this within the details. You know, it's not just one set, all right? So first we have the transplants. Then if you scroll on down, you come down here, it's a cryptocurrency. You scroll on down here, the next post is about beauty and pendant lamps, all right? Let me go ahead and get you another example here so I can just showcase this one more time. So here's our blog. This is a blog that accepts guest posts. This is an SEO website. Every single flippin' post is about SEO. This is an SEO blog. It's probably going to be free, but I have to give them a quality piece of content. You get what I'm saying? Other blogs might charge you an arm and a leg, but I'm going to get a quality link from a quality blog. This is the difference. You see what I'm saying? All one topic, talking about one thing. Guest posts that are there just to sell links. This is what they look like. All right? This is the point I'm trying to make. I'll show you one more. All right, here, take a look at this. Let's just find one. This guy. All right. So let's go over here. Let's just pop this sucker in there. Paste and enter. And this is what you'll find. All right, so let's take a look here. This is just, again, random. Looks a little bit different. We have a lot of posts here, right? Let's go ahead and take a look. So Bitcoin up at the top, relatively popular. Again, we have with the hair. Now we're talking about termites, okay? Now we have grocery shopping. You get the point now, all right? So this is the difference. If you go to a blog and it has a look like this, or there's multiple different topics, run clear. Also, you might see the same topic and it might look a little better, but I want you to always take a look at the blogs. Go and take a look. I mean, are you looking, because remember, quality blogs, look at, they accept 1 out of every 10 and take a look. This site's been here for years and years. Now, look how many blogs they have, count them up, and then take a look at this, right? Look at all the different categories. This is a general. This is very normal for these types of sites. And then if you come in here to these archives, I guarantee you, it's as many as they thought they could sell. You get what I'm saying? And they're all different. Now, you might run across some guest posting blogs or PBNs that are all within the same realm, but if you're just seeing whack, 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 their only job is not guest posting. It's not an actual website. Their only prominence is to sell links. That's it. Whether it's a guest post, a PBN, white hat, gray hat, black hat, these are the things and the elements that you're looking for. All right? So let's move on to the last topic of this particular talk, and that's going to be, so we want to do it ourselves. All right? So what can we do? Because yes, and this is where I like Upwork. All right? And it's going to be relatively hard. I've had trouble in the past, and also, you can come on here. You can also, any place you can find somebody to help you with this very monotonous task, this is how it's done. All right. Now, there's multiple ways to do it, but one of the first ways is, let's say that we are in the, discount HostGator coupons. All right. Gee, I don't know why that came to my mind. Retail me not as huge. Coupons, you might want to go on down. Oh man, look at this. We're way down here. All right. We are way, way, way down here. All right, so let's just go grab one of these guys. So what I like to do is I like to use this tool here. So this is called Scrapebox, and within Scrapebox, let me reverse that. So it's all going to start with the domain or your competitor list. All right. So if you're competing in a particular SERP, you know who your competitors are. So it's going to start with this. If we have to start doing this as an outreach campaign, we need to first start with, one, who's the competition, all right? Because I showed you the first way. We can go to services or try to buy them, but really at the end of the day, you might end up getting it's hit or miss. So the best viable option is to then look at my competitors targeting the keywords that I'm targeting, right? So if we're targeting, say, discount HostGator coupons, what I want to do is I want to make a list of competitors. Then the next step is, once I have my list of competitors, who's the competition? Two, we need to start doing backlink analysis. So it's backlink analysis, right? So number 3 is going to be, once I have done my backlink analysis, so basically I've used, say, SEMrush, I've taken my competitors, I've added them in here. So let's just say that this was a competitor. I pull their domain, I export their backlinks, all of them, and I do that for my top 10 competitors. Then once I have all my top 10 competitors, you can then pull out a tool like this one. And what you're going to do is you're going to add that website URL link list. And this tool, what it will do is it'll go and scrape all of the emails from each of those sites. There's also other tools that do this. So one of the premier tools is going to be Pitchbox, all right? But this is what it's doing. So I want to take you through this process. 1, who's the top 10 competitors? 2, extract all of their backlinks. Step 3 is go through those backlinks. We need to organize them and figure out which ones are highly relevant, which ones are going to be actually worthwhile for pursuing. So then we'll dwindle down our list. The 4th thing is going to be, okay, we need to utilize a tool to extract the emails. So you could use Scrapebox, you can use Pitchbox. Another really good one is called Hunter.io. So these are 3 really good options. It went from cheap to mid-grade to expensive. Hunter.io would be in the middle. Scrapebox is the cheapest. Pitchbox is the most. Me personally, I've only used Hunter and Scrapebox, and I like both of them. So once I have my list, I'm going to put all the URLs into one of these tools. I'm going to extract all of the emails, and then I'm going to make a base email template. I'm sure you've gotten these emails before. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. So be a little bit more thoughtful with your emails, but that gets into the realm of manual outreach or doing link building outreach. Some people are going to get back to you and say, hey, guest post is 100, a guest post is 200. This is where you say, hey, I saw this page, right? And I've talked about link inserts, but I don't want to get too far off track here. This is about guest posting, guest blogging. This is how you do it. My name is Chris Palmer. If you have any further questions related to guest blogging, guest posting, off-page SEO, link building, white hat SEO, gray hat SEO, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, really anything digital marketing SEO related, always feel free to go ahead and ask in the comments below. And I most certainly look forward to seeing you in the next guest posting how to get high quality backlinks video. Have a wonderful day.